STEAM project. That's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. We're going to be making some borax crystal ornaments. So let's get started. Laid out on the table, I've got everything that we're going to need to make our ornaments. We've got a pot that we're going to use to boil some water. We've got some glass jars that we're going to be putting that water in. We've got some borax, which is what we're going to make our crystals out of. We've got some wire cutters, side cuts, or you could use some heavy scissors. Got some pipe cleaners, which are going to be the base of our ornaments. A little bit of string, a pencil, a measuring spoon, and a measuring cup. All right, so now that we know what we need, we're going to talk a little bit about what's actually going to happen. How are we going to get from the powder that is borax to our crystal ornaments? And we're going to take advantage of what's called a super saturated solution. In other words, the fact that when we heat the water, which is why we need that pot, up to boiling, we can dissolve more borax in it than we could in cold water. Even when that water cools down, it'll hold on to that borax, but it really doesn't want to anymore. It's looking for a way to give up that borax, and that's where our pipe cleaners will come in. Our pipe cleaners will provide a surface where the borax crystals can start forming. And after we leave them overnight, we'll see some good crystal growth. So our next step is to shape our pipe cleaners into whatever creative shape we want to grow our crystals into. Snowflakes are very popular. Icicles can be popular if you want to be simple, keep things simple. Or you can make any shape you want as long as it can fit inside your jar with room to spare. Because remember, once you've put it in, crystals are going to grow and you'll need to be able to pull it out. While we form our snowflake or other design, we're going to start our water boiling. So I've got 3 cups of water here. Just going to put it in my pot and get the heat going while I form our snowflake. It's important to know how much water you've got because you'll need to measure out the borax depending on how much water you have. To form our snowflake, we're going to take our pipe cleaner and cut it into 3 pieces, roughly even. And I got one that's a little bit longer, but that's okay. And then we're going to form into roughly a snowflake shape, but we're just going to twist them together. So we've got a very basic snowflake shape, and if we want to, we can trim these ends down to make them a little more even.
Daddy, how did you make that?
Now that I've got my shape, I'm going to make sure it's going to fit into my jar. And as you can see, I'm a little too big still, so I'm going to trim down the ends a little more. Well, now it'll definitely fit. I may have gone a little bit too small, but it'll still work. Okay, our water is now boiling, so we can go ahead and turn off the heat, and we are going to very carefully pour it into our jar. We're now going to add our borax. Looks like a white powder, kind of like this. And I need 3 tablespoons per cup of water. And I've got 3 cups of water, so I'm going to need 9 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to need some more. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to take a big old spoon and give that a stir. It's very hot, so you're going to have your parents do this part. And you can see it's a little cloudy, but if we look way down at the bottom, I'm going to try to move the camera down there. You can see there's no real powder left there. So it's all dissolved. So our last step is to tie our string, the other end of our string, to our pencil. And we're just going to lower that into our solution. And we want to make sure it's all the way submerged, but it's not touching the bottom or touching the sides at all. And then we need to find a place to just leave it alone overnight. So it's about 1:30. We'll check back in with this tomorrow morning. Okay, now to make this video a science video and not just a craft video, we're going to do a little experiment. I've got a second jar of water with 3 cups of water in it, but it is cold. I'm perfectly fine putting my hand in it. And we're going to try to dissolve the same 9 tablespoons of borax in it and put a pipe cleaner in there, and we'll see what happens to this one in the morning. This one's a nice straight one, so we'll definitely be able to tell the difference. I've already got it pre-tied to our pencil. So we're going to start counting our borax tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, and this time we're even going to try stirring a little bit after each group of 3 just to try to give it a better chance of all mixing together. And we can already see that's a lot cloudier than we ever had with the hot water. 4, 5,
Sorry.
6, and we'll give it another stir. And we're getting very cloudy with that. We're going to try 3 more tablespoons. 7, 8, 9. I will give that one last stir. And we're going to get that nice and close. Take a look at this. So that is very cloudy. It looks like a lot of the borax hasn't dissolved yet. We'll look at it again in a few minutes and see how much has maybe settled down onto the bottom instead of dissolving. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and lower our ornament into it. And we'll check on it again in a little bit. All right, so it's been just a minute or two. We've put both jars off into a quiet spot where they shouldn't get disturbed till morning. On the left, you can see the jar that we heated the water, and it's almost clear, and there's really no powder on the bottom. On the right, it's still very cloudy, and you can see quite a bit of the borax powder already settling down onto the bottom. So we can see pretty clearly how heating the water allowed more of the borax to dissolve and to create that super saturated solution. Alright, it's the next morning and we've taken our pipe cleaners out of the solution. As you can see, our snowflake, we've got some nice crystals. Maybe it didn't fully submerge in a few spots, but we definitely got some crystal growth on it. On the other hand, our icicle with cold water, it accumulated some sludge and it's just crumbling away. So we can definitely see that we needed that heated water to dissolve all that borax to get our crystals.